We're back here on Sports Talk Chicago, City's 92.9 FM, WJOB, all of our great affiliates, Aurora, ACTV, Jed TV, right here on YouTube as well at Sports Talk Chicago. You can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago, myself at John Z Sports, John Meadows in the producer and director chair, as we get you prepared for a maybe competitive game between the Bears and the Chiefs on Sunday. I mean, I'm trying to be nice, trying to be appreciative to the Bears for at least playing and having a season this year, but I don't expect this one to go too well. The Bears, as they stand today, are 0-2, in case you've been living under a rock. Their offense is dysfunctional. Their defense can't contain Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love. And they're getting their butts kicked week in and week out with bad play calling, bad coaching, and just bad play all around. Well, this week, they're just going to have to take on one of the best teams in football, maybe one of the best teams in the history of football, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs, to my surprise, I should say, have not been playing well as of late. And a lot of Chiefs fans are concerned, and maybe rightfully so. Patrick Mahomes isn't himself. The Chiefs did lose to the Lions to open up the season. They're 1-1. Travis Kelce's been beat up a bit. Things are not perfect out there in KC. Could this be an opportunity for the Bears to pull up an upset? It's slightly possible. I'm not going to bet on it. I'm not going to make my prediction solely based on that. It would be unbelievable if the Bears upset Kansas City. It would certainly right the ship for the Bears at Hallis Hall, put them to 1-2, get people excited, say, wow, they beat the Chiefs. See how great all that sounds? See how exciting all that is? Yeah, remember, it's just a dream, okay? I don't think any of that's actually going to occur. But should it occur, it'd be a big deal for the Bears. I just don't think it's happening. Now, Justin Fields came out this week and criticized the coaching staff and Luke Getsy. He said he felt robotic out there, wants to come out and just F it and rip it and be ready to go. I love that philosophy. We'll see if it translates to an in-game performance of sorts. Khalil Herbert's been great in 2 games, but only 16 rushes. The Bears as a team have only run the ball 45 times in 2 games. They're only averaging as a team, not as one individual player, but as a team, about 22 to 23 rushes per game. They are not running the football at all. They're playing from behind. They're putting hero ball in Justin Fields' hands. And in the fourth quarter, in 2 consecutive games to begin this season, when the Bears were within 1 possession, Fields threw a pick 6, which ended the Bears' chances to come back in both the games they played. On the wide receiving side, DJ Moore had a big week last week. Cole Kmet's doing all right. Chase Claypool's been a liability. This Bears team needs a full makeover. Extreme makeover, house edition, whatever it's called. That's what they need here. They need so many things to change and change fast. Fast. Not take a couple of games. We'll see development over the season. If people want to still be excited about this team after 2 games, they need things to change fast, and it starts this weekend. I don't expect the Bears to win, and I'm not going to be outraged if they lose. It's expected. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a team that lost to Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield should beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That'd be dumb. That'd be reckless. But I want to see a competitive game. I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want to see inept performances. I want to see this team fight to the very end, and I'll be happy. I'm not a moral victory guy, usually. I'm not a big rah-rah guy, usually, but in this case, I mean, realistically, what should we expect here? I'm not going to sit here and say, the Bears should win, and feed you some BS that makes no sense. The Bears are not winning this game. Come on. And if they do, great. They're not. They're not. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs, even being beat up, are still just an unbelievably solid football team. Patrick Mahomes, four touchdowns, 2 picks, 531 yards in 2 games. I mean, this is one of the worst starts to a season he's ever had, but you're going to face the Bears defense who gave up 300-plus yards to Baker Mayfield. He'll be fine. This is going to be a rebound game for him, probably. Their run game's kind of a bit up in the air. Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are kind of sharing carries, not doing too well on the run side of things. Justin Wilson's their best wide receiver because Travis Kelce is still not 100%. He only has 4 catches this year. And Jerick McKinnon's been an okay back as far as receiving goes. I mean, they are beat up, no doubt about it. They are not maybe who they were before. No doubt about that either. But they are still playing great football. They are still a perennial Super Bowl contender. And here's an interesting twist. They're 3rd in the NFL right now in defense. Now, it's 2 games, but they're third. They're third in the National Football League in defense. And they only gave up 21 points to Detroit. They gave up only 9 to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, who is good. Maybe the Chiefs' defense is going to help them win games now, moving forward. Maybe it's going to transition from a super heavy offensive game to a more balanced mix, which will still allow them to win many games and potentially a Super Bowl. So I like the direction the Chiefs are going in, even with these injuries, even with these issues, even with things that don't seem fully right in Chiefs land. What I'm looking for from the Bears is the following, though. Not looking for a win, said that already. But what I am looking for is progress. I'm going to continually look for a light at the end of the tunnel because right now Justin Fields has a 71 quarterback rating, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 fumbles. I want to see a ball-out performance from Fields. Now, the Chiefs' defense is good, but I'd love to see the Bears put up minimum 17 points. I don't think that's too much to ask. 17 is not a ton. It's not a huge expectation. The Bears put up 20 in week 1 and 17 last week against Tampa. I don't see why they can't do it again against KC minimum. My concern is the Bears' defense. If they gave up all these yards and all these touchdowns to the likes of Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield, what's Patrick Mahomes going to do? Even with depleted weapons, even with him not being himself, this is going to be a rebound game for him. He is going to turn it around and tear up the Bears at home at Arrowhead. He will. It's going to happen. So I'm not putting my hope nor faith in the Bears to do anything significant. What I want to see is progress. I take a line from last year's rebuilding and tanking year, but really, that's what I want to see. They shouldn't be tanking this year. They shouldn't be rebuilding. They shouldn't be 0-2. But in this game, even if the Bears were 2-0, even if they were thriving, even if everything was going right, you can't expect a team this young in terms of gelling, in terms of chemistry, to come out and just kick the crap out of the Chiefs on the road. Even if the Bears did reach their targets and go 10-7 or 9-8, make a wild card spot, I guarantee one of those 7 or 8 losses would be against the Chiefs. This is not a Super Bowl caliber team. This is not a team ready for success today. They're doing their best to stay alive, and at this point, they're doing their best to not go 0-3. And if they do, it's going to be even worse and worse and worse. It's just going to get worse. It's already pretty bad. So this is where the Bears stand right now. This is where they are. This is where they are as a team. And these are the expectations that we have to lay down on them. I'm not expecting much, nor should you. I'm expecting better performances. I'm expecting Justin Fields to, quote-unquote, let it rip and say F it, as he said. I'm looking for Roschon Johnson to get more opportunities. He looked great last week running the football. He's catching the ball as well. I'm looking for DJ Moore to continue his hot streak and build off of last week. I'm hoping for Chase Claypool to show some effort and actually give a damn. You know? I'm hoping for all this stuff. Cairo Santos to continue his hot streak. He's 3 for 3. There are some positives. Probably about 5, as we talked about last week, which, no offense to Roschon Johnson or Cairo Santos, but if those are your top positives for this season, you're kind of having a bad year. We really need to see improvement out of Justin Fields. And the key for the Bears to even stay in this game is going to be how much will their defense bend and not break. Because let's face it, they're not going to force Pat Mahomes to throw 3 picks and force a couple of fumbles, even get a sack. The Bears didn't even sack Baker once last week, so I don't expect that this week. But what I do expect is hopefully a bend not break attitude and hopefully more effective defensive prowess. The Chiefs are downgraded offensively. They're kind of struggling a little bit here. Take advantage of that if you're the Bears. Take advantage of the fact that things are not perfect. Exploit the Chiefs. Get their fans worried and scared. Get them worried about having a tough start to their year. I think that's a great idea. The Bears after this have kind of a tougher schedule too, or kind of, I would say, a coin flip schedule. They still have Denver, Washington, Minnesota, the Vegas Raiders, and the Chargers. I don't know how any of those games are going to go. You would think the Bears would have a shot and be in it, but based on how they played against Tampa and against Green Bay, I don't know. And I have no faith in it. So this week, don't expect a win. Expect a loss, but expect hopefully better play out of Justin Fields, better play out of this defense, better play out of their key pieces who are rising in stock, like Roschon, like DJ Moore, maybe Chase Claypool. I don't know. That's something that you can hang your hat on, and that's something you should be looking for this weekend. And from a defensive standpoint, I'm really curious to see how it goes because Alan Williams is no longer with the team. He resigned. So they don't technically have a defensive coordinator. That means Matt Eberflus, as of right now, according to reports, is going to be calling plays. So let's see how Mr. Defensive Guru handles this. Can he limit Pat Mahomes? Can he limit the Chiefs' offense, which is already kind of down and out because they are hurting? Can he put up a good enough game plan to be effective? That's all you could ask for in this situation. As far as the final score prediction goes, I am not going to be favoring the Bears in this one, and I think it's going to be more than a one-possession loss. I'm going to say 38-24, Bears fall. 38-24. I do believe the Bears will put up some points. I think Justin Fields is going to come out and play with more of a purpose, and he won't be as robotic. His words, not mine. But I think the Chiefs are just going to be too much for the Bears' defense to handle. I know I've said it already, but I'm going to say it again to emphasize the point. You gave up 300 passing yards to Baker Mayfield, who last year nobody wanted on their team as a quarterback. He was benched by Carolina, put back in, released, and the Rams kind of picked him up on a flyer because Matthew Stafford was so injured, and they had nobody else. So he came on, did okay, not really great, but okay, had a couple of nice moments. Gets somewhat of a job with Tampa, earned the job to his credit, and he's looking great. But we shouldn't have expected that out of Baker. And Jordan Love, too. Jordan Love is looking great so far. That will be bound to end. He's essentially a rookie. He's having a nice stretch, couple of games here. It's not going to be permanent. But the Bears let him have a great stretch. Started off as great stretch. That's unacceptable from the Bears defense. So you think if they can't contain Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love, they're going to contain Pat Mahomes, highest paid QB in football, best quarterback in football? No, they won't. Even with him not having a perfect year to start, even with Travis Kelce being beat up, even with an inconsistent run game, the Chiefs are going to find a way to win. That's what good teams do. The Bears could be a good team. Not this year, if things keep going like this. But when they get to that point, as many of you know, and as many of you have seen in past Bears iterations, they're going to win those tough games. They're going to win the games where they're not on point because they're just that good. And the Bears are not just that good right now. They have a long way to go. They should be just that good considering how much money was spent and where they stand today, but they're not. They have liabilities on the offensive line. They can't even rush the quarterback. I hope they get one sack against Mahomes if they're lucky. Their offensive play calling is bad. Justin Fields has started off unbelievably tough. There are very few bright spots to this team and very few things for the Bears to hang their hat on right now. Now they don't have a defensive coordinator even. They're in a big, big problem area right now. I hope things get better, but I'm not going to count on it. And I think this weekend's going to be a tough game to watch. I think the Bears will lose by 14. I think, they'll be in it for a second. But I think by the end of the game, it's going to be like 38-17. They're going to score garbage time touchdown and make it 38-24. That's really what I think. This is not going to be a good game. Away at Arrowhead, loudest stadium in football, no, it's not going to work out well. They can't even coordinate their plays with nobody in the stands. How are they going to coordinate plays when they can't even hear themselves? It's not going to work out. So that's my prediction. 38-24. Bears will fall to KC, and they will drop to 0-3 on the season. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here to today's video and to today's program here on Cities 92.9 and WJOB AM 1230. John Meadows, big thank you to him, directing and producing, making everything work behind the scenes. You can follow us all over at Sports Talk Chicago. Hit up our sponsor, Amish Country Farms, and follow me personally at John Z Sports. For the radio audience, we're going to be right back. We have much more to get to. The Cubs are going down and going down hard in the midst of a playoff race. Not looking good. We'll discuss when we get back.